Up next is our Commitment to Success Spotlight brought to you by Provident Bank. Provident Bank, commitment you can count on. And joining us today from the newly crowned NEC champs, it's the MVP himself, LIU senior guard, Greg Gordon. Greg, thanks for coming aboard today. We're so excited to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. It means a lot.
All right. First, an amazing night in Brooklyn. Amazing night on Tuesday for you. It was jumping in that arena. We're gonna get to all that, but I want to go backwards into the tournament a little bit. I want to start with the semis with you, okay? That was an amazing moment in the Shark Tank. After you beat Wagner, celebrating that win, you clinched the AQ to the tournament for LIU, and I know that wasn't your end goal, but let's just talk about that moment, celebrating, watching you go into the crowd with the reef. The place was just going crazy. What did that first moment of celebration feel like to you?
Um, just felt like, everything that we had achieved and finally getting that bid since 2018, it felt like it was mainly because of the fans. The fans, they bring so much life and energy in here. So, I felt like us winning that Wagner game and truly like understanding that we have a bid to the tournament, that was strictly for the fans. But we knew that the next game was going to be for us. Like that was our main goal.
So being at LIU for those next couple days, every person I talked to, from your the team to the coaches to the admins, they all made it perfectly clear that winning a semifinal wasn't the ultimate goal, right? It was to you made it clear in your post-game interview after the championship game that that wasn't your goal. Like the team was trophy hunting, right? Like that was the ultimate goal. What was said in the locker room after you beat Wagner and you knew you were going to NCAs? What was the message?
Job's not finished. We went with the Kobe quote. Job's not done. Job's not finished. So we were we were head still screwed on straight. None of us went out. We didn't celebrate. We just treated it like another game. It was surreal, like to know that we were like gonna be playing in the tournament. But going down the Twitter comments and everything, it was like, oh, they got it by default. They didn't really earn it. So that really like just added a lot more fuel to the fire. So
Okay, so let's fast forward to the title game to Tuesday. You knew you were going to be playing a very good, a very well coached Mercyhurst team. Lots of really good players on that team. You knew you had some work to do, and that game wasn't easy. You and Malachi got the ball rolling. You scored the first 20 points for your team combined, and you looked like you were just shot out of a cannon in that game. You were playing with pace, taking guys on one, running the floor, defending, and I mean like defending. What was your mindset coming into that game? And then when the ball tipped, what was running through your mind in the Shark Tank that night?
uh, basically the only thing that was going through my mind was under no circumstances are we gonna lose this game. Like I wasn't gonna allow it to happen. Like I wasn't gonna allow them to take a lead and pull away from us. Like I just wasn't gonna allow it. So I made sure like if my teammates can give 80, if they can give 90%, all everything helps. I'm gonna give 150. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes for my team. Like, and it wasn't even necessarily about scoring the ball. It was about getting the ball in the right people's hands at the right time and playing defense and disrupting Mercyhurst from running any plays or executing anything. It was simply just like I was gonna do the intangibles that people wouldn't have seen that don't appear on the stat sheet.
Are there times out there, and certainly in the first half of that game, you could see it, there are times like where you feel like nobody can stop me. Like I can do what I want on that court.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's just like I guess it's just the mindset that I grew up with. I've always had the mindset of like truly like you can do whatever you want if you really believe it and you really practice your craft. Like I feel like there's no way that someone could possibly deter you from doing what you want. So my mindset like during the game was after a while it was like, all right, like the pressure's on, like they can feel that I'm not shying away and I'm not gonna be cruising through this game. So I was like, if I'm gonna start off at 100, I'll finish at 100, and I'm just gonna straight shot. There's no slowing up.
How much does the energy of the crowd help you out there? Personally, the way you play the game, I said you play with pace, and you really do. You get up and down the floor. How much does that help you to be the best version of Greg you can be?
I mean, the pace is it's just like it. I don't know where it came from, to be honest. I don't ever remember working on like my speed and my agility, but like my stamina is it's top 10. Like I run a lot, so for me to be able to like run up and down the court from defense to offense, it just feels amazing because then the crowd also like just gives you that extra boost. Like when you hear the crowd pop and you hear the like them saying your name and just screaming your name and saying they love you, like it feels amazing. It's just like it just it's something that you just want to experience every day. So it just makes me go like 10 times harder.
Take me through the play where you went behind the back in the backcourt and then came down and Euro step. Do you remember that play from the championship game? It was one of the fastest behind the back dribbles I think I've ever seen. It was wild.
Um, I knew that like, I've watched the game 3 times in the last 3 days, so I know exactly. I think like at the moment, once Jomo blocked the shot, like coach, he like specified like, look, like we need to run the ball. Like when we're in transition, the only people that could beat us is ourselves. And I'm running gun. That's my game. I love that. So when I got the rebound, the first thing I thought was, okay, like it's time to push the ball. Like I seen a gap through 15 and number 20 and number 12. I went through the gap, and as I like put my head down, I seen Bernie, and I kind of ignored him like for a slight second to make it give off the impression that I wasn't paying attention, and then I switched it to my right hand. And once I seen him, I was trying to see if he was like shuffle to the left or shuffle to the right. And when he went in for the steal, it was perfect. Like I was like, oh, this is perfect. Let me just go ahead and take this around the back, and it just I wrapped it. And, he didn't catch it in time, and from there I knew like, okay, 1-on-one, they they kind of identify me as someone that very springy, very bouncy. So there's a chance that I would take off from like from giving anywhere. So Lemon, he's like really smart, so he tries to like jump to time my step, but I already had my mind made up that I was going to Euro step. So it just everything happened to fall into place perfectly.
What a play.
That's
All
my
right,
favorite.
before I get to the end of that game, I want to talk a little bit more globally about your playoff run. You guys lived on the edge in these three playoff games. These were not easy games, starting with Chicago State, which went right down to the wire, right? Um, Dogfights. Then Mercyhurst pushed you to the limit. But we've seen that from your team throughout the regular season. Really close games, but in those last 2, 3, 4 minutes, somewhere you get players making plays. You flip that switch, and suddenly it winds up where you win by 5, 7, 8 points. And it can be different guys each game. Like it was Mason Porter Brown hit that huge three. It was essentially the dagger in the Mercyhurst win from the corner. What is it that allows your group to flip that switch and close games the way you have all year?
I definitely think it's most likely because on our team there isn't one person who's gonna shoot. Like when it comes down to a game-winning shot, there isn't one person that is designated the ball. Like we're gonna put the ball in whoever we feel has the best chance of success at us winning the game, and we trust each other. Like and it's like it's just a brotherhood. Like we trust each other so much that miss or make, like we still have your back 100%. So I think everyone on our team has enough confidence to get up there and step up to the plate and knock down a big shot and not really think too much of it because they know that everyone on our team is 100% gonna have their back. So Mason, he's a great shot selection guy. He's a great candidate to make a shot. He stays in the gym, he works on it. So he's somebody I trust, and I'm pretty sure everyone on our team trusts. Lele, Shadrack, there it goes down the line. I trust every single one of those guys. So
That's great. Let's go to the celebration. After you win, and one of the reasons I want to talk to you because I'm watching your post-game interview, which was amazing, by the way, that you did on our post-game show. Everything just seemed to pour out of you in that moment. Like all your emotions came out in like 3 minutes. How much of a boyhood dream was it for you to get to that moment? And I know that you had to overcome some obstacles to get to this spot. When it all came out like that, what are you feeling on the inside?
honestly, the emotions was just it was too much. Like I was saying around this time last year, I was genuinely at home. Like I was off of the team, and this is my second year in a row where I was off of a team, and and there's just no explanation. Like people were wondering, like, oh, like they wrote me off, they kind of gave up on me, which is understandable. Two teams, but I kind of started giving up on myself a little bit, and I was almost like, man, like maybe basketball, just maybe just something I just have on the side, and but I locked myself in the gym. I had a great support system. Like I had a great support system. Like I had a mom and a dad who, no matter what, they always told me that they believed in me. Like my parents, they always believed in me. Like they never once gave up on me, and then the off season comes and I'm hearing from schools, but schools are so scared to take a risk and they're like, well, we heard this about him, we heard that about him, and and Coach Strick happens to stumble by me and he treated me like I was, a diamond in the dirt. Like he still see my worth and my value and he took a chance on me and I mean the chance played out, it paid off and it ended up leading to like well, I think this is the best chapter of my life. Like this is something that I would never believe that this is where I would be. Like, it was just such a crazy feeling. Like being here with these guys. Like I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with these guys. And like it was just another feeling. Like it was another emotion I unlocked. It was ridiculous.
So when you were named MVP, and I watched your teammates' reactions to when you were being given that trophy or plaque, what was going through your mind when you accepted that trophy and you saw them and their reaction to it?
Like the only thing I could think of was like, man, like the running, the early mornings, the late nights, the aching muscles, like I just thought like it paid off. Like it paid off. Like I told my teammates, like we we really manifested this. Like this was something that we talked about every day. We there was never days went by where we like didn't talk about cutting the nets down. Like we all met in the room 2 in the morning. We talked all 15. We all we had a hammer, that we found in a tool bag, and we passed the talking hammer around, and we gave the hammer to every single person, and we let them speak their feelings, and we let them, you know, we just kind of expressed to everybody that 1 through 15, everybody matters the same, everybody wins, everybody benefits the same. Like that's the goal. And these guys, they sat there and they brought in, and I'm just so proud of them. Like I'm proud of my teammates.
That's amazing. All right, so I've worked at the NEC for almost 3 decades now, okay? I've never seen anything like this. At the end of your interview, you said something that gave me goosebumps, which doesn't normally happen.
I love the NEC. The NEC gave me life. I appreciate you so much.
You said, "I love the NEC. The NEC gave me life. I appreciate you so much." What did you mean by that? And what has the league meant to you this season?
It was just something that like I kind of looked and I realized like no matter what this conference may look like to anyone on the outside, like this conference pours 100% of effort into everything they do for every single team and every player here. They make sure that the players get the same type of media coverage. Like it makes you feel like you're not just a player on a team. Like you're in a conference that genuinely cares about you, and it's like it means a lot. Like, it's just such a hard way to put it because like this conference, like they just show you so much love and like yeah, like they genuinely care about every player, every coach. Like the NEC is by far my favorite conference I've ever played in. Like
That
by
means a
far.
lot, Greg. It really does. That's amazing. I love to hear it. All right, let's go way back. Let's go back to the beginning. How did it all start for you in hoops? When did that hoops journey begin for you?
Um, started it's a long time. Like I first started out playing football actually. Like I was a football player. I loved football. I never played high school basketball. So I was always ineligible of high school basketball. Like sports just wasn't my thing, like when I was growing up. And I was never good enough to play with like the good AAU teams. I couldn't afford it when I was younger. So I kind of just had to make my own way. My uncle, he had an AAU team, he kind of let me play with his team. And I kind of I never gave up on basketball. And basketball's never gave up on me. It's pushed me through my darkest times. And so I was just a young kid just playing basketball every day, like at the park with my brothers. Like they would always, like push me to try to be the best me. And I always thought that they were just like mean, like my brothers, they were like really heavy in my basketball career. Like they never, none of my brothers ever made a high school basketball team. Like I had a brother who couldn't shoot. I had a brother who wasn't athletic enough. I had a brother who was too small. I had a brother who was too slow. And it kind of feels like every great attribute that they had, they placed it into me, and the shooting, I'm still working on it a bit. But, every other great attribute, they definitely they blessed me with it and they never let me give up, and I feel like I came with the motor and the heart for the game and they gave me everything else. So that's kind of where it started.
So your journey, it took you to a lot of places, like born in Chicago, played high school in Florida, Tennessee for at Dyersburg, Iona UAB. Tell me about the road that led you to Coach Strickland and LIU.
You know, like I'll be completely honest, and I don't want to sound like I don't know basketball because I'm a very like when it comes to basketball, like I know the game, like, but I've never heard of Rod Strickland like before this. Like I've never heard of, like I had no idea who he was. Like I'm not even trying to, shade you, coach, but I had no idea who he was. Like I genuinely didn't know who he was. It just wasn't like just wasn't my era. So, I just had no idea who he was. So
He was
Dalmar,
good. He was
yeah,
really
I
good.
heard. No, I know. I've done. Look, when I first met him, I was like, man, like they say this and that about you. He's like, you better do your research. I go in the house, I watch a 26-minute video on him. First 30 seconds, I'm like, oh, I could do this. And then it kind of got a little tricky. And I was like, oh, okay, like he's really like really, really good. But no, I knew Dalmar, Coach Dalmar, and when I was like a young kid, like Coach Dalmar found me when I was in prep school and he reached out to me and he was like, do you think it would be possible for us to get you on a visit? And I was like, yeah, I don't see why. Like I'm at home. Like, what else could I possibly, what else could I possibly be doing? And I came, I'm like, oh, this is Rod Strickland. He's like, this is Rod Strickland, just like, oh, nice to meet you. I was just like, this guy, like, this guy's an NBA player. Like, I'm trying to get to where he's been. So I just didn't know what to expect from him. And he ended up being just he's one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. Like, he's a person I would tell stories of to my kids about. He's a great person. Like, he's giving up on me.
How
You know,
does how does Coach Strickland put you in a position to succeed and maximize your skill set and what you do great?
honestly, he lays out the blueprint, and he's kind of a throw you in the fire type of person, and you'll either adapt or you'll burn. He's one of those. And he's like, a lot of people think like the old teacher. I always tell people like he's an old coach, like he's very old school. Like like he's serious. He's not a pushover. So if you feel like you can't do something, like he'll make you do it until you get it done. And then he'll give you a motivational pep talk right after, and it'll make you feel like, man, like, wow, it wasn't even that hard. Like he's the guy.
That's what a good coach does. Let's go back to something else that you said post game. You said you joined a team. It had some veteran stars. Like we know Malachi and Jamal were all stars in this league last year. And you said they let you lead from day one, a bunch of guys I never met in my life. How much did that mean to you when you joined a team of guys you've never met and they allowed you to be you and do what you do and become one of the leaders of a team that was coming back that you knew was going to be very good?
Um, it meant it meant everything. Like when I tell you that this is the closest team I've ever been to and I've ever been with, like as far as like comfortability and just like brotherhood, like this is the closest team I've ever been, like I've ever bonded with in my life. Like when I say I came to the team and these guys, they opened me with like wide arms. Like it was amazing. Shadrach was the first person I ever met. And I actually didn't speak to him for the first like hour of him being in my apartment. I just didn't say anything to him, and he came and he said what's up, and eventually we all started like hanging out together, and and I knew that I was new, and I didn't want to come stepping on anything that they had built from last year, and they kind of just like pushed me in front and was like take the lead, and like and we'll correct you when you're wrong, and and we expect the same from you, and they gave me the keys off the first day, and we never looked back. Like I've had I've had talks with every single player on our team, like every player on our team, Eddie to Gavin to Treshawn Shepard, like every single player. We speak every day. Like there's not a day that goes by, and it's not almost like we're just speaking about basketball. We're genuinely speaking about like real life things, and it's like we just talk and we know each other. Like we really like if it was possible, like if Lay wasn't graduating and like a couple guys weren't graduating, like I would come right back with the same 15 and have the same confidence. Like I wouldn't change it for nothing. Like I love every single player on my team.
Let me ask you this then. You have to have really good players to win at this level, at any level. But how much, you talked about the brotherhood. How much does the brotherhood, the chemistry in that locker room, how much does that play into a team's success from the start of the year to the end?
I mean, that's why I think we won. Like the activities off the court, like I genuinely think that they are the it's the complete reason we won. Like we were so close, like we went paintballing, we go bowling. Like we have game nights, like we host game nights every Saturday night, like in the summer. Like, with the men's and the women's team, we're all very close. Like, like it's like our little bubble of basketball athletes it's like a little community. Like we're all very close and but the team, like the men's team, we like our off the court activities, like it just makes sense for us to jail so much on the court because we just hang out so much off the court. Like for my birthday, I threw a charity event, and my teammates they all donated money and to give back to the Boys and Girls Club. Like these are guys that are, like that are still relying on their parents. Some of these guys are still like getting like allowance. So it's like, these guys are getting their allowance money and donating it so we can get back to the Boys and Girls Club together. So like this team is like we're glued tight.
Outstanding, Greg. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So I said to you, I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of great players come through here. I've made a case to some people around the league that you may be the most athletic, explosive, high-flying player that I've seen in all my time here. And that's a long time. So I asked Shadrach before the title game about his like best dunks. We got to get to you now. Like we got to get to this past season. What's the most memorable throwdown you have? I'm gonna give you mine. Mine was the back-to-back alley-oop sequence against FDU, which like tore that gym up, man. It went crazy. And not much gets me to jump out of my chair when I'm watching at home, but that did. What are some of your personal favorites from this year?
It's tough. Like I want to say probably the St. Francis the dunk spree at first time against St. Francis here. You know,
Okay.
I think I had three dunks in a row, the back-to-back putbacks and then the missed free throw rebound. But no, those that was just my favorite. The FD was my favorite sequence. I gotta think what my favorite dunk is.
Is there like a
Mm,
poster this year?
I haven't got a poster. I would say, but that doesn't really count though. The Wagner dunk, the reverse dunk at Wagner.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't really know. Like I don't know. I got a
You
lot
got
of
a lot
memorable.
to think about. A lot.
Yeah, I got a lot of memorable dunks. I watched. You know, since you were saying that, I was an athletic player. I was watching that NEC documentary last night. It was just about like so many players. Like I was just learning the history of NEC. Like I was watching the championship between LIU and Mount St. Mary's.
Okay.
I was watching St. Francis Brooklyn versus LIU. Like I was just watching a bunch of documentary, like a bunch of like old games, and there's been some pretty athletic guys that have been.
Yeah, there has. Let me, if you want, when you go back into history, go watch that LIU 2010 to 13 team. They were really good. I actually asked my son, who was he was at the game the other day, and he was younger when LIU had the three-peat. I said, who wins between 25, 26, and say 2011, 12? And he's like, that's a barn burner, man. That's going right down to the end. So many great players that have come through LIU. And now, you've kind of etched your name into that with a bunch of your teammates. So it was fun watching you guys this year.
I told the guys last night. I told Shadrack. I spoke with him last night, and I said, like, we etched our name in history. Like, I don't know if you understand how big of a deal this is. Like, we're the first, like, a modern. We're the Sharks. We're the first Sharks team to win
Yep.
the NEC title. Like, they're not gonna forget this, you know. And it's just like, I just tell the guys. Like, I tell them all the time. I'm proud of every single player on the team. Proud.
Let's go to your. You've been a game changer, not just on offense. You're recognized by the league's head coaches as the defensive player of the year. So, how much pride do you take in that side of the game, on playing on that side of the ball? And you said after the game the other night that that was the hardest defense you've played in your life against Mercyhurst. How locked in were you? How tired were you at the end of that game?
Oh, I was so tired. Like when I finally got home, my knees felt like bowling balls. Like they were in pain. Like I take pride in defense to a different level. I understand that, like, defense genuinely is one of the things that you can determine how the other team will actually like play the game for the rest of the game. You can determine if someone can have a good game or a bad game by how you play defense. And it's like I take so much pride in it, because I just feel like if someone scores on me, it's just it's like, you're basically calling me trash. Like, you don't have to say it, but I'm trash because if you can score on me at will, I must be trash. And I just take it so personal. Winning defensive player of the year, that caught me off guard, like completely off guard. Like I understand I pick up the ball and full court press and things like that. Like I'm just so in the moment of the game that I never kind of intentionally do anything. Everything just happens to be like just driven passion, like and it's just like I'll pick you up full court 5 times in a row because maybe you're a factor in the game, and I'm gonna make sure that you understand that you're not allowed to touch the ball anymore. So it's like I just take a lot of pride in it, and yeah, it caught me off guard.
It's great. Is there an NBA guy or somebody that you either model your game after or you try to get some pointers from to incorporate into your own style?
As far as offensive wise, no, nothing. I kind of just try to get it where I can get it at, and but as far as defense, like believe it or not, I watched Drew Holiday's like defensive highlights. I watched Keon Ellis, who plays for the Cavs right now. He's definitely like a really big role model when it comes to like watching defense. I watch a lot of guys when it comes to defense. Draymond, just so many guys that are NBA greats when it comes to defense. Offensive wise, uh, my teammates they keep calling me Westbrook. I can't shake that. I don't. They call me, but I don't necessarily model my game after anybody. No.
All right. All right, let's look ahead now. NCAAs. Next up. Not sure where you'll wind up. Maybe the first four, maybe one of the best teams in the nation. We'll see where you land on Sunday. You mentioned after the game you'd love to see Michigan in the bracket. Why Michigan?
You know, um, my their star player, Yaxel Lindeborg. We've been really close friends since like freshman year. And we were JUCO camp roommates my freshman year. We were sophomore camp roommates my sophomore year, and then junior year. Oh, well, actually, and then after I ended up going to UAB because of him. He was a really big influence on why I went to UAB. So it would just be nice to just, play against someone that, he has so much on the line and I got so much on the line. It wouldn't be a better story. Just a clash between, two powerhouses, LIU and Michigan. So it just would feel so great.
It's so great. Before the new year started, you played Mississippi State to the wire. You played Georgia really tough. Like, what gives you confidence that your team can go toe to toe with anybody?
Um, I'm confident in these guys. Like the one thing is that I truly feel we have to head into the game thinking there's no fear. Like there's no fear whatsoever. Like there's no there's no awareness of them being a one seed. Like at the end of the day, they're college basketball players just like we're college basketball players. They hit shots, we hit shots. They might be a bit taller than a couple of us, but there's no fear. Like I feel like that plays such a big role in upsetting like teams in the first round is because like you have to come in with no fear and just believe that you can do it. And then, 150% effort. Like that's all it is.
That's all it is. All right, I have a couple of wrap up questions. Before I do that one, how do you like living in New York? How's that?
Oh, New York is it's definitely like something new every day. Like there's something new every day. I actually just ate at Junior's for the first time yesterday,
All right. How was it?
and
What'd
it
you
was
get?
amazing. It was amazing. I had pancakes, I had an omelet and some bacon, and it was amazing. And it was a lot. They're really tied in with like the sports history. And it's actually crazy. I was just looking at so many sports artifacts that would never have thought I'd ever see in my life. But I love New York. It's like there's always something to do. There's always some unskippable cutscene happening on the streets. It's just New York it's great. It's not Chicago, but it's pretty second.
It's an adequate substitute for Chicago. Are you a pizza guy?
I love pizza.
All right, what's
Uh,
the better pizza then?
Chicago pizza is way
I,
better.
I don't think so. No way.
Chicago's pizza is way better than New York's pizza. New York's pizza is
Wow.
almost like a printed pizza. It's like so thin on a pizza paper. Well, I will say this though. The best pizza I've had out here in New York is, well, so far in the area we are in, is Little Pizza Parlor. It's amazing.
Where's that? I gotta try that. Where is it?
Oh, you gotta try it. It's right by where's Little Pizza Parlor by? Well, I don't know because I'm not really from New York. So, but I just know that
I'll look it up.
yeah, if you come with me, I'll walk with you and we can go get it.
Okay, that sounds good. What's after you're done with college hoops at LIU? What's next on what's the next train stop for you?
Genuinely, never thought about it. Like I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm not gonna let this moment die down for another 3 months. So, you might see me just walking through the campus, just reminiscing. But in all seriousness, I'm not sure, honestly. I know that for a fact that I've been away for about 5 years, and I think that I finally have accomplished enough to finally go and hang with my family. For the first time in like 5 years, like a consecutive time hanging with my family.
Nice. What's your major?
I'm in criminal justice, but right now, oh no, criminal justice was that was my uh that was my major last year because I'm in my master's now. I'm in sports kinesiology.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That's great.
It's a
All
it's
right.
a different field for me. It's just something new, but I like it.
Cool. What would that lead to? Is there something you would want to do down the line, like in that field?
Honestly, I don't think so. I kind of like I said criminal justice. I already got my degree in criminal justice. I'm generally a Secret Service CIA guy. Like I have aspirations of being in the Secret Service, which is crazy. It's always been my like a dream of mine. Like Secret Service, CIA. It's always been so. That's kind of where I'm aiming for.
That's that's cool. Very cool. All right, last two questions. Lots of people around the country will be introduced to you and LIU over this next week. What do you want people across the country to know about LIU hoops?
Fins up. That's what I want to know. Fins up. LIU is. I just want people to know, like, like take a chance to hear everybody out. That would probably be my message. Like, take a chance to honestly, like, you know, evaluate like your situation that you're in life and like, and understand that there's hope. Like I thought there wasn't any hope. LIU gave me hope, and they showed me that there's still people in the world that will care for you no matter how roughed up you are, or it's like if life has done its big one on you, like there's people that still care. Like LIU definitely gave me that message. And it gave me hope essentially. It gave me life, just like the NEC. Like, the small conferences and small schools, they carry. So that would be something I want people to know about LIU.
I cannot think of a better way to end this. Greg, let me tell you something. I've done a lot of these podcasts. This is an all-timer. This was superb. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for your just refreshing honesty, I'll say. It was great to talk to you. And I think the fans will enjoy learning about you. Enjoy this time at NCAs. They're going to stick a lot of microphones in front of you. Don't waste it because it's a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot more people talking to you than you did at the NEC tournament. There'll be a room full of people listening to the wit and wisdom of Greg Gordon.
I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Like I'm so thankful that you invited me here. So I really appreciate it.
Well, you got it. All right, everybody, that was the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, also Greg Gordon from LIU. Congrats, Greg, on your championship. Good luck in the NCAAs. And we will see you next time on the Commitment to Success Spotlight, brought to you by Provident Bank. Provident Bank, commitment you can count on.